UI UX is amazing. The fact that you can design something beautiful. And product is fantastic. There's so many type of PM you can be. You can be business, you can be technical, anyone you want to fit in. Then the QA thing was there. So I mapped out my career growth in each one of them. How far can I go in? Which one will bring me the cash? Well, unfortunately, it is not about the cash, but it's an inspiration, actually. So I checked which one of them will bring me the cash. So yes, anyone that will actually bring me the cash, but I can easily relate with QA because it talks more about who I am, what I can do, what I stand for, right? So then I decided to start learning QA. I decided to focus on QA, and it has been a ride since then. That's it for me.
Interesting. Everyone has their own story. My story is different, actually, but I don't think today is about me. So we'll just move on straight. I have a certain challenging question, but then that will be after this question. I'm going to direct this question to Anthony. QA testing or software testing is really not popular around here, and that's related to my next question. But then, what has been your challenge so far as a software tester or a QA engineer, Anthony? What would you say has been some of the challenges you're facing or you face?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I think from the beginning when I started, I had some challenges, and there are some challenges I'm also facing as at now. So when I started, at first, I think I did not really understand. We have a very complex system, so I did not understand the underlying architecture very well. So doing QA in the beginning, you test a product and you think everything is fine, but later you realize that there are some bugs coming from other parts of the platform because you did not really consider those parts. So at the beginning, it was a challenge for me. So I was like, wow, is this job for me? Am I really doing, or am I succeeding at my job? But I realized that it was because I didn't have a very good understanding of the architecture and how other parts of the platform, they connect together. So that was one challenge, but I think as time went on, I've been able to overcome that challenge. The other challenge I experienced also was that when we started, we had so many developers and we had just like 2 QA persons. So every developer's work was coming to you. So there was too much of work for you to do at the end of the sprint or in the course of a sprint. You have to test so many things. So that was a challenge until we increased, or we started hiring more people to the QA team. And so those were some of the challenges I faced at the beginning. There's currently a challenge I face. So for my company, we have most of our developers in Canada and some in UK, and the QA, about 90% of the QA team is in Ghana here. So one challenge I face now is time zone issues. So when you wake up in the morning when you are doing your work, the developers will be sleeping. That would be their bedtime, right? So when you face challenges and you need them to fix it, or if that challenge is not a blocker, then you can continue with testing other parts of the app or running other test cases. But then if it's a blocker to other test cases, then you need them to fix them as soon as possible. But the challenge is that when you need them, they wouldn't be available. And 3 p.m. is when like they start their work, and at the time that they fix it, it is also like closing day for you. So you might not be able to retest it. You have to come back and test it the next day. And if there's another issue, then it keeps dragging the task. So that is what I'm currently facing as a challenge. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. I think that's I think the first challenge about really understanding the underlying architecture, I think it's something that cuts across for everyone, especially if you have a particular product that you always need to test, then you actually need to understand how it works. And that's challenge. And for Viamo, I can identify with that a lot. Yeah. All right. Now the question I want to ask the 3 of you is that I I started as a tester in 2018, and it was very hard to find a friend who is testing or who is also called a software tester. And it's not really popular in Ghana, and it's not popular in Africa. I'm not saying it's not popular, yes. It's not a popular field. And so would you say that it is worth pursuing this? Because I'm sure there are people in here who are thinking, they are now starting in tech, and they are thinking whether this software engineering, QA engineer, test engineer, is it worth, how much are they paying? Is it a secure job? Should they go for it, or they should still go in for the software engineering and developer job? So Percy, what's your answer to this one?
For me, what I would say is software testing, it's something that has been in existence for long. Just that people skip that bit as part of their development life cycle. So now I see it as more as something that is like emerging, especially in a part of the world. That's how come you find lots of organizations now trying to run after testers. So previously, they didn't know much about it, but I think when they start like reading more, following agile processes and whatnot, they realize it's a key aspect of the whole cycle. So now lots of organizations are really seeking to have like QA engineers on board or testers on board. So for me, I don't really see it as a dead end if you try to pursue a career in it, because it's emerging and there are a lot of opportunities. Like I remember when I was moving to M-Pharma, they didn't have any idea about testing, whatnot. We had to come in, preach the whole idea about testing, get a buy-in from the CEO to the CTO, and even the devs at the time. And now it's something that they've really come to appreciate because of the different dynamics we bring on board and to the engineering team. And they can't take QA out of their processes now in any part of the cycle, right from gathering of requirements, right from designing the UIs to implementation. There's QA at like every part of the stage or in the process. There's a QA bit in there. So it's, for me, it's emerging, and it's something that I would always encourage people to like look out for and also develop skills in. Because there are times, me personally, people do reach out, do you know of any QA anywhere I can engage? I know you are busy and whatnot. And though I am a product manager, I still do QA for 2-3 different other companies. So it's something that I would want to like encourage anybody who would want to basically build their career in it to pursue, and not just look out for the old ways of doing things or old ways of testing. Like there are new ways, and day in, day out, you always have to also look out for things that's going to help you grow. So it's a good thing. It's not a dead career for you. Should you start and consider, okay, like what do I do next and whatnot? It's really growing.
Great. Actually, that was one of the things that inspired this question. Is actually one of the statements I got when I decided to really pursue this, for the fact that, Charlie, you know how many people are testing around, they look around. Like, I should just look around and consider and advise myself. All right, Ibironke, what do you have to say about this?
If you're not testing, you're in a long term. If you're not a tester, oh, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing, actually. So I would say that, yes, in Africa, we are still scratching the face of software testing. There is so much in software testing. And then it's very possible that, now the very funny thing about any role in engineering, or particularly software testing, is that you can be in that career for, let's say, 10 years, and you might still not be sound. Now, the reason for that is because, using Africa as a case study, there is a need for testers. Like, there is a need. There is a need. And that is why it's very easy for anybody that is sound to easily get job opportunity. I was saying this in my closed mentorship circle when I was telling some of my mentees that I had to show them the offer letter. I practically had to be rejecting offers. When you are sound at your skill as a tester, right? And then you have positioned yourself well in terms of your LinkedIn profile. You have make yourself visible. Job is not a problem, whether in or outside of the country. I was here I was in Lagos in 2018 when was the last Buhari's election? I think it's 2018, if I'm not wrong, actually. But I think it's 2019. Yeah, 2019. And yeah, they need testers to test, and that was even hardware testing, right? So I just carried my bag, we moved to Abuja. And then I got there. I was actually there when I needed to be calling few testers that I know in Nigeria to come join me, in Lagos to come join me. Because there are needs. There are jobs, but how many skilled people do we have? So it is not, so in Africa, it's no longer a case of there is no employment, people have graduated, there is no job. It's not a case of there is no job, it's a case of there is no skilled people. So there is job. If it has to do with software testing, there is a job. The truth is that I think it's in 2019 when I got back, I decided like, okay, let me even see how it means to even work in 2-3 companies that I like, let's just see how it works. And I just decided to try out offers. And I got like almost 4 offers the same week. And in my head, I'm okay, how do you want to do this thing? Everybody wants you to resume at the same time because there are offers, there are opportunities when you are sound. But the issue is how many people are skilled. Now, I've worked with company while staying here in one village in Ibadan, right? I've worked with a company in Ghana. We're working with a company in Accra. I've worked with 2 other companies in the US, right at the comfort of my room. That is because I had the skill and I make myself visible. So if you are saying that you are not seeing software testing as a career you need to fly with, or let me just say it's because you have not understand the career map. You have not understand the career growth. You have not understand the map that has to do with software testing. Because software testing is so funny that there was a time I decided, I'm not even doing this software about I'm tired. And I decided to go into big data testing. I check out hardware. I even like hardware testing because it gives you room to spoil things. Anyway, so I tried hardware testing. There is AI testing. There are so many areas we have not even touched in software testing. And to every of those areas, there are growth, there are opportunities. So if you're having, now, so I'm always saying that there are so many jobs in a career, but not all jobs has a career. But there are so many jobs in a career. Now, software testing is a career job. Because inside that career, you can decide you can function in so many areas. You can do application support, you can do software testing, you can do hardware testing, you can do AI testing, you can do big data testing, you can do localization, performance, security. There's so many that you can even like focus on and you still make your money. Right? So it is not a matter of if there is a job opportunities or there is career growth. Now the issue is anybody that will say that is because you are still looking at the 4 walls of Africa. You are not seeing outside our box yet. You are not seeing outside our box yet. You should see outside. You should see. So when you are looking at outside, it makes you to standardize what you know, and then you'll be good enough to work here. And then still be able to apply to jobs outside there. See, you can, like I said when I started this conversation, I said you can be in testing for 10 years and you still go, and you be the lead for a company, and then you go outside and you're a junior tester. Why? Because that career map, if it's not defined for you, you'll be doing so much of nothing. You'll be doing so much. You'll be doing software testing. Yes, you'll be doing so many channels, you'll be doing so many manual, you'll be still writing your page objects model for automation. By the time we have to review it, it's not standard. So yes, there is career growth, there is job opportunities, and there is money. Let me just give it.
All right. Okay, great. Okay, we've had a lot. Tony, what do you have to top it out?
Yeah, I think they've said a lot. I'll just say there's opportunity in Ghana here. I remember back in 2017 when we decided to grow our team, we had only one person applying for the job. And the following year, when we tried, we did not get anybody to apply. So we actually decided to have students who are fresh from the university for us to train them. So I think the job opportunity is there, but just that we don't have the people who would want to, or we don't have the skill set available, or there are a lot of people who are not ready for the job. So if you're interested in doing QA, it's a great thing. There's job opportunity in Ghana, in Africa. And as she mentioned, we don't have to just look within Ghana or Nigeria or Africa. Let's look outside. It's a global role, and you can work from your room in Ghana here and be doing work for companies in the US or UK. And as they mentioned, yeah, the cash is good. So all of you can join us.
Okay. The cash is great. That's why they've been in it for long. All right. On this aspect, please log in again when our video cards are on the free version. Hopefully we'll upgrade ourselves. Don't worry. Upgrading is easy. So my next question has to do with where to start from. Do I need to, does anyone have to gain a computer science degree, IT, something? Does anyone need to do that? Ibironke, does anyone have to, where do I start from if I want to pursue testing and all that? At least you have been training people, so you can give us a rough start. Yeah.
Okay, so the reason why I'm laughing is because this question was one of the quiz questions we had during the last testing quiz in Nigeria. And I'm always saying that the basic criteria for you to be a tester is to be a human being. So if you are a valid human being, you can be a tester. Yes, and I'm always saying one quote that anyone can be a tester, but not everyone will be a tester. Why? Because there are some basic human skill. In fact, as a tester, you need more of human skill than technical skill, right? You need attention to details, analytical thinking. Now, I know that a lot of people like brush through those things and then they read it as text, but they do not really understand what it means to have analytical skill. Definitely, it's just an ability for you to sit down, put your hands like this, and then think throughout the day. Well, that's not what analytical skill is. So yeah, what you need basically is a human skill, the ability to think outside of the box, the ability to make decisions, the ability to be a people person, right? And then when you start your career in testing, now this skill alone is enough for you to have interest in starting a career in testing. Now, those skills I listed, they are enough for you to have interest to start a career in testing. Now, for me, when I started software testing, aside from the fact that I was looking at what my line manager was doing and replicating it, there were no academies, so I mostly watched YouTube. And then you buy some Udemy courses that all you do throughout the day is to listen to a white man talk, and then you talk and talk and talk and talk, and when you are done, you collect Udemy certificate. Yay, you have learned software testing, only for you to now see the actual job, and then you are looking at the roof. Anyways, not to say that there are no courses online that are good, but they are very rare, and the ones that are very good are quite very expensive. Okay, so if you have interest in studying a career in testing, if you want to do this alone, first thing is have a mentor, right, that is into testing. That was where my online manager was in the place then. You know, he was one that was telling me, oh, no, this is not how you write a test case. No, this is not how you put a user story. No, this is not how you put a test case. No, this is too complex for you. Now, all those things, your mentor will be like a guide. This is somebody that will help you understand what this career growth is all about. Then you now move into buying courses or attending free courses online, study them, and then you attend a lot of webinars, and then share the little you know, so that you can get correction, get feedback, and then keep learning from there. Now, to whatever you learn, I feel like this actually comes again in software development also. Everybody is good at learning, but not practicing what they have learned. So get free resources online, or sample website, or sample APIs, and test what you have learned, right? That helps you to sort of have an actual life environment experience of how you're going to carry out your test, of what you have learned. Then after that, apply for internship opportunities, work there for as much as you can endure, either free internship or paid internship, and from there you can start growing. Now, that is like a very long ride, right? It's a very long drive. And another way you can, which is you know, of course, is mostly cash free. You don't need to spend money, right? You just need to have your time and dedicate time to studying this thing, and then you can grow from there, which is fantastic. I think I actually started with that. In fact, I started with that, okay? But nowadays, we have so many academies that does all those, from the writing of getting a mentor to the point of applying. They have covered that in their own academy. And then briefly, that is what I will talk about, test code camp that we do here in Nigeria, right? You are a fresh graduate, or you are doing something in tech, and then you want to dive into software testing, or you're a tester, you want to grow your career. That is where you do test code camp. Test code camp usually lasts for 3 months and then 4 months. Now, the 3 months will actually take you through the journey of what is even software all at all, to you writing test automation, deploying on Jenkins, and doing all those things. And then you get certificates. They put you to a mentorship group, and after then they refer you to job opportunities, you apply, and then you move from there. So there are two now, aside from test code camp. Yes, there are other companies that does that here in Nigeria that I know. Maybe not in an academic setting, but yes, we have like Summit Tech. We have so many of them. Okay, so it now depends on what your option is. What do you want to start with? Do you want to do a self-write, or you want to do an academy write? Okay, so that is what I would say.
Okay, I think I just wanted Ibironke to answer this, but I think I'll still let Percy and Tony add something small, just something small. So, Percy, where should one start from? Like, if I want to be like you, where should I start?
Well, girl, you already like me. So for me, where to start from is very simple. She mentioned different things, communication, engaging with people, and all of that becomes off as soft skills. But for me, I consider them as hard skills if you want to be in the testing career. Quick one, we had some developers joining us, and they've not heard about QA testing. So I was testing their code after they pushed. Then I gave my feedback. One got back to tell me I'm a lunatic tester. I was like, everyone took offense in that. Like everybody in the building, like the way we sit in the office, it's more like our decks are joined. Everybody, Percy, why? And moreover, it was a lady. Like, I was like, oh, it's cool. And I think of it as a compliment than she trying to be mean at me. No. It's a compliment. And this is a story I tell like everywhere I go. So one, how you empathize with the developers and how you take in feedback they give to you. Trust me, this thing is not easy. Even the software development thing, it's not easy. People go through madness to write something, to get something out there, only for you to wake up one morning and say, sometimes with a silly statement, this is not working. Like, it can really make you mad. And through that, they can just say anything at you. So it's hard skills if you want to be in the testing business. With that said, also, there are different ways to start. Me, for instance, it was quite difficult because I had to learn it the hard way. As Adea mentioned, there are no mentors around. When I started, like, I even thought I was even the only tester till I met another person and I got super excited and we started exchanging and sharing ideas. It's all about you. Just think of it. I want to be a tester. I want to be skilled at testing. What do I need? Who do I talk? And there are a lot of resources out there, like, no joke. Every day I get out there, I see something new. Then I just come back to ask myself, is this something I would want to pursue? Is this something that's going to help me in my career? Okay, like this tool, how do we use it? Would I ever be using this for different things? It's all like about you and how you think. So basically, for me, I think it starts with you. Tell yourself you want to be a skilled tester and not just any tester. A skilled tester, then you move from there into the different aspects of testing. And it's really broad. Like, it's very broad. You can move from UI, you can move from API, security, and you get, like, you're always learning. Because sometimes when you need to test something you've not even heard about, for instance, if I want to test the performance of an endpoint, where do I even start from? You would have to go and learn something. You may not have all it takes. It's not just about sitting down as people think it is, click, click, click. No. If you have that kind of mindset, that's where your career ends. Like, it's really extensive, very, very broad. So for me, I think that's the kind of mindset we need to have, that it's not just me looking at something and clicking or being told what to do, then I do it. No. In software testing, there's nothing like belief. You don't believe like anybody. Believing is a sin in testing. Whatever they tell you, oh, it works on my machine. No, I beg, try your own thing. So yeah, it all depends on you and the kind of skills you'd want to develop. And also, as my colleague mentioned, the direction or which angle you would want to go. So yeah, it's really broad and very interesting.
Yeah, I agree with you. Tony.
Yeah, I think you've said a lot. I'll just add something simple to it. I think software testing is not that easy, but then you can actually start with zero experience. With no experience, you can start it. This is debatable, but I can say it is harder than programming, because you need to be very smart, or you need to be smarter than the programmer to be able to find problems in his code. So it takes a lot of critical thinking, as has already been mentioned. You need to empathize, or you need to put yourself into the shoes of the client or the end user for you to be able to make sure that whatever is being delivered meets their expectation. So with no experience, you can do it. Be smart. A lot of resources online, YouTube, paid ones on Udemy and other platforms that you can do. And you can actually teach yourself if you want to do this. Yeah.
I have a question here. I think Ibironke has answered the first one, and then this one was sent to me directly, privately. And he's saying that I have a computer science background. I'm teaching myself web automation testing. using Selenium and Python. Right now, I could do some basic and intermediate testing, mostly using page objects, but I always feel I'm not ready for what I'll be required to do when employed. What are my basic requirements to start as a tester? Okay, so I think, I'm not reading the question actually, so I think that question has been answered. So I'm sure by now you have your answer now. Just break before we go to the next batch of questions. I plan to get some icebreakers. I don't know, I just put in the plan icebreaker and I didn't put any icebreaker. I mean, whatever it is there. And so, I mean, if you are here and you have any question, you'd like to unmute yourself, I'll give us like a few seconds or a few minutes. If you're here and you want to ask a question directed to anyone here, any of our panel speakers, you can do that whilst they relax, and then we'll move on to the next batch of questions that we have for them. All right. Or maybe I should ask a question. I don't have any prize for anyone. I heard someone talking, sorry.
I'm saying they will not ask.
Yeah, okay. All right. I wish I had a prize so that I could ask a question and then you answer and then I give you that prize, but then I don't have anything for you. I may as well just clap for you and all that. I think it's been an interesting discussion so far, and personally, starting as a software tester was like most people, you don't know about it and then something happens, so you just fall into it. Let me use that word, fall into it. And then you start doing it like, oh, this is really good. I think I want to continue with this. Yes, so that's been my story. Yes, so far.
George is raising up since you have a question.
Hello.
Hi, sorry.
George here. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, George.
Yeah, I wanted to ask a question. In software testing, like automation testing, do you need to be conversant with most of the testing techniques and tools that there is before you apply for a job? For example, for those with the Java background, I know that they usually use backtracking tools like Jenkins and other API testing tools. Do you need to know all those stuff before you actually venture into applying for jobs?
Okay, should I choose someone to answer the question for you? I'd like to choose someone.
You can choose anyone who can answer it to my best understanding.
Okay, so the first person on my screen is Tony from here.
Okay. Yeah, I think you don't need to know all those before you apply for a job. If it's you want to apply for automation, as at least you need to have the basics of programming. I mean, you need to be able to understand the basics of programming. And if it's Java that you've learned, and maybe you're applying to a company that is using Python, I think the basics are the same. It's just the syntax of the programming language that is going to change. So when you move in there, you can easily learn on the job. So you don't necessarily need to learn everything before you apply. Even if you don't have that experience, just apply. And when you get the job, you learn on the job.
All right, great.
Thank you very much.
I think we have some contribution. Of being saying in Ghana, most of the software development companies don't hire testers. After learning software testing, can anyone point me in the right direction to find job opportunities and gigs? Okay, Obin, we'll come to that as part of the plan. We'll get there. And then the next person is saying, that's Fola Kumbi, is saying with the shift towards automation, I think the need for programming is becoming needed and an added advantage. Yes, I agree with you, Fola. All right, so let's move on to the next batch of questions. And With that, we just want to discuss the testing strategies. Most of us here are testers, or at least we've heard about it, or we are practitioners. We just started into it for a while. So some of the testing strategies that you have been implementing, or you wish you'd implement, or you think it's good to implement, but you're not doing that yet in your organization. So I'd like you to share with us some of the effective strategies that you are using in your workplace. I know there are lots of them, but just share with us, what do you do that makes your testing effective? That makes your organization say that, yes, we need QA, right? All right, okay, Percy.
Well, for me, I think the strategy that is working for me is having the various teams be part of the QA process, as in they share in the ownership. So if it's products, if it's engineers, if it's designers and whatnot, so everybody like plays a role. For me, I don't believe in quality as waiting to get the last build or artifact deployed before you start testing. So the strategy I go by is right from the moment a story gets on the backlog, and during grooming, that's where we get to talk about all the different things that can be explored by the engineers, and also making sure that we use the agile testing pyramid, meaning a lot is done at the base ground where developers do lots of unit testing. They write their unit test codes and all of that. From there, we do the integration testing, and we use different tools like Pact, basically having a consumer draft a contract for the provider to consume. Then from there, we know that at least we are covering some integration testing. Then we move on to the next stage of the triangle. So before it even gets on my desk, it's gone through like different stages, right from the project or product inception to the designing of the screens or UI, whatnot, APIs, to the engineer before it gets to me. So I don't really do much. I just check what the acceptance criteria is saying. Then I cover. If there are any exploration that I also need to do, I just do that. So these are just some of the strategies that are working, and it's working. Everybody is sharing in their ownership. Sometimes before you even discover something, they might have already chanced on it, and like they note it down. So I think it's for me that's what's working.
Okay, so my pick from Percy is QA being part of taking ownership of the product as well, involving them early, and letting developers do as much unit testing as possible. Okay, Ibironke, what effective testing strategies do you have for us?
Okay, so I think Percy has said a very valid point, which is getting testers involved from the beginning of the product, right? From the time that the idea is being consumed till it's being deployed. But in addition, one other thing I can add to it is effective continuous integration and testing, right? Making sure that your deployment, for me, actually, I think that from the stage where I have drafted my test plan, I set up the whole CI/CD pipeline flow. So I don't need to start setting up some things in the middle of test, considering the kind of environment you are working in, especially if the kind of products your company is dealing with is actually client-based or not. Like when it's B2B is a problem, that's business to business. Here you cannot afford not to do continuous testing. But if it's business to customers, yes, you can still find your way around it. So having an effective continuous integration and testing is very important for an effective testing, in addition to what Percy has said. Thank you.
All right, continuous testing. Tony.
Yes. Yeah. In addition to, I think what they've said, think encouraging developers to do their own tests before bringing the work or pushing it to QA, because when that is done, then obvious things of basic functionality of the app, they will test that so that QA can be more creative in thinking about edge cases and finding or testing areas that ordinarily anybody would not think of. So encouraging them to do that. And also, I think one other thing is also having code reviews within the team, that other developers checking that this the software built is of quality or meeting the standard, or reviewing it to suggest ways if the code needs to be optimized. So all those things are in place, in addition to what they've said, also help with the testing within the organization.
Great. So I think I'll pick the last point of code reviews. And yeah, we have continuous testing from Ibironke, and then taking ownership of the product from Percy. Okay, my next question, I think you've also touched on it a bit, but let's just define it as it. I think it just entered in our conversation, right? About your top 3 skills. What would you say are your top 3 skills when it comes to testing? I know there are lots, but for someone right now who wants to, maybe when we take 3 from you, 3 from you, 3 from you, I'm going to get 9, right? So no one should say that we're comedian. Sorry, Ibironke, that's cheap. All right, so your top 3 skills. Let me start from you, Ibironke. Your top 3 skills.
Oh, why did you start from me now? Okay, I'm actually still thinking though. My top 3 good skills, because I have some other skills that makes my aside from the fact that they call Percy a lunatic tester, my own calls me a meticulous tester. And in fact, they don't want me to test their work. So they want me to be the last person to test it when other testers have already tested. But what I would say my top 3 good skills have: one, wait, do you mean, is it technical skills or soft skills? Which one? Let's be clear.
Your top 3 skills.
I should not to top 3. Testing is a skill, right? Yeah, testing is a.
Okay, let me just say that we've mentioned some of the. Let me just put the soft skills, like we were saying. Let me just put it that way. The ones Percy called hard skills. But then what? Let's go to the technical parts. Okay. What would be your 3?
I'm a lover of API, so API testing is one for me. CI/CD is key for me, and
test CI/CD. Not all of us know what CI/CD.
That's continuous integration and continuous deployment.
Okay.
That's you. Is that okay? I've talked about API testing. I've talked about web automation testing. Web automation testing. Then the third one will be the CI/CD. CI/CD has like a compilation of regression testing, right? You carrying your automation test and integrating into a continuous pipeline to carry out a continuous test. So they're all together. But testing is my top skill. Let me do it that way. But API is something I prefer more than doing UI testing to try.
Okay. So API testing, web automation, and then CI/CD. Okay. Anthony.
Okay, so I think it will be a mixture of soft and hard.
Okay.
So I think one important skill is context switching. That's a key way, because you'll be working on different, depending on the product that you are working on or the platform, you'll be working on different features of the platform. So when you are working on feature A and you are blocked or feature A has issues, then you should be able to contest or you should be able to switch to other tasks and work on it. So that is one great skills to have. The other one is also on good written and oral communication. If you are reporting issues, you need to be able to clearly state what is not working. You should be able to give details of what you did, what you were expecting, what is not working, and any other information that will help the developer to debug the issue and fix it. You need to be able to clearly communicate that. And I think one technical skill that you also need to have will be knowledge of version control systems like Git, because it's very common in the software industry. So you need to have that and have some basic programming skills, one or two programming languages, either Java or Python, and some knowledge in SQL or data relational database will also help you.
Okay, great. So we have context switching from Tony, oral and written communication, and then we have basic knowledge in programming and version control. Hi. It's your top 3.
Top 3 for me, I would say consumer-driven development testing using the PACT framework. It's mostly for integration. Then also performance testing because of the kind of users I've had to deal with. It's something that I also have like very top skills in Gatling. Then also human interaction, and another top one, which is basically analyzing logs. Like I don't just look at the interface and test. I would want to see what is happening in the background, all the things that are being hidden and all of that. So I also see that as a great skill to have, analyzing logs.
Thank you. So I must confess, I think I wasn't paying attention. And so the last one I got was analyzing logs from Percy. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. So if you can hit on your first 2 for me again, I'll be very happy. I
can go over them.
Yeah, so, sure.
Yeah, so the first one was consumer-driven development and testing using PACT. So that's mainly for integration testing. Then the other one is performance testing. And my favorite tool is just Gatling. So okay. Those were the 2.
All right.
So someone sent me a DM here saying I didn't mention my soft skill. Okay, I didn't mention my soft skill. Was it only my technical skill I mentioned? Okay, so for me, my soft skills, can I go on?
Oh yeah, sure. You can.
Okay. So my own soft skill is, one is communication. Then 2 will be bug reporting. I have received enough accolades on that because I can log a bug for you and you don't need to wait me to fix your issues. And then the third one will actually be the customer focus or user acceptance of products, making sure that whatever we are developing is actually something users can consume and use effectively. So those are my 3. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. I think we've taken in a lot so far. I actually thought Zoom is going to cut us out, but it's interesting. They're still on. Yeah, I think I have an angel at Zoom. All right, so I'm going to combine 2 things. Obey asked around that about the opportunities that we can take. You mentioned that there are lots of resources out there, and I think, yes, I agree with that because even with Ministry of Testing, how it came about, it was as a result of me just searching because I really needed help, right? And sometimes the help you need, you have developers, all right, but then they don't understand you. let me put it that way. You go to them like you want to, help. You are going to them to help you test their work, but then they don't understand exactly what you want to do. And so it's difficult. So one of the things that I was just searching, I saw Ministry of Testing, I was just looking at them, and they have a lot of resources there. I think I'm just going ahead of myself, but are there opportunities? I mean, if any of you have, do you know about job opportunities, resources, where we can find resources? Are there people we can follow? Because I know there are lots of testing gurus out there that we can follow. Sorry about that. Yeah. So what opportunities are there? What can we take advantage of? Where should we look at if we want to do this? And this is also an answer to Obein's question. I'm trying to choose Percy.
Well, for me, I think first you need to start joining or finding testing communities, and Ministry of Testing is obviously one of the best ones out there. And also, don't just join, participate. If you have questions, whatnot, post it in there. Like any challenge you come across, somebody has already been through it and they have solution to it. So anytime you come across anything while you working or whatnot, just post it in those forums so that you try to get results. And also when you are picking certain tools, make sure that those tools really do have solid community so that you always can get the support you need when you hit that blocker. I think for me, that's one thing that's been working. Like I don't just shelve the issues, put it on my desk to try different tools. The only time I may have to switch to a different tool is when it's not giving me like really what I want, and I'm also not getting enough from anyone about it. So just like reach out to like different people. And for me, I've been using Pluralsight, then also University of Automated Testing. Basically, those are the platform like I really engage on. I also belong to the Ministry of Testing community and the PACT community. Like there are tons of them, so I can share the list with everyone depending on what your interest is. You can join them to see the sort of discussions that happen on those platforms.
Great. So one of the, just to add to what Percy said, one of the ways you can join the community, the Ministry of Testing, not the Accra even, he's talking about the main one, is Slack. So if you don't have a Slack account or Slack, when you go to their website, they have community, and you'd be able to find the link to join their Slack channels. And in that Slack space, there are lots of topics, like they said, you can join their channels on different kinds of testing, job opportunities that you can join. And yeah, there's also Test Automation University, like he said. So Percy, if you can type them in the chat for us, would be very grateful with it, so that everyone can take note of that. Okay, Tony, do you have any, where you go to, where is your secret place, your resources, any opportunities around that we can take advantage of?
I think a couple of resources on YouTube. So there's this channel, Ibironke on YouTube. I think they have free content there. And if you also have money, there are good resources on Udemy that you can purchase some of them. And for one test automation tool that I use or we use in our work is Selenium based. It's an open source automation framework, Python and Selenium together. And I think they also have a community on GitHub. I'll get the link and send it in the chat. So This one, yeah. So couple of information on YouTube actually, if you need free resources.
Okay, thank you very much, Tony. I wanted to say something. They mentioned that you don't actually need, you have to look beyond Africa and Ghana when you are thinking of job opportunities, because right now there's remote work and you can just sit in a single room and be earning money at the end of the month. Like basically you don't go anywhere. In a whole month, you are not going up and down like people would do, but then you're actually working with your PC at home. So don't be, I think one thing I would say is that don't be afraid to apply for international companies. Like, don't be afraid to apply. Apply, just make sure that you are presenting a good CV. You are just applying. They put it out there, they are looking for people. You think you are somebody that you can do the job. Just don't be afraid. Remote jobs or in person, just put it out there. And when you join those channels, you'd actually find the job channel. Just go to those job channels there and then try as much as possible to apply. If your application reaches to a point, most of them will reach out to you. And even if you don't make it, they'll tell you that, oh, you didn't make it, or you get to a level and then they drop you. It's sort of an encouragement that you applied to such a company and then they actually go back to you. For me, I think it's an encouragement. Especially, yes. It's better than not hearing anything at all from them. It means they took time to consider you, consider your application and all that. So please do well to take advantage of these opportunities. Let's think international. So Ibironke,
yeah. To add to what you just said, I think sometimes you don't even have to write CV or even apply. Because for me, I don't remember ever applying for any role. Like, it's how you sell yourself, how you also write. Don't just do stuff and hide it. If you like writing, write your story, post it out there, like blog post, anything, any tool you learn about, just put it out there on your profile, put everything there. Because like all the people that reach like out to me is for me basically linked through LinkedIn. I've never really sat down to say I want to go here, so I'm going to send an application. It's all through like LinkedIn. Then I finally have to decide whether I want to go or not. So I think you should also be exploring that and enrich your profile. Anything you learn, post it out there. You can do YouTube videos, have your own channel where you talk about stuff you've learned over the past week or quarter, whatnot. It really helps.
Great. That's very true. All right, Ibironke.
Okay, so I don't know why Percy said what I wanted to say. But anyways, that was what I wanted to mention. To either of the jobs I have now, I would say I've not even applied for my last, I didn't apply for my last two jobs. And then even it has gotten to a stage where I don't really do that sort of interview in quotes, where you go for interview, they'll now give you aptitude test, or they'll now say, yeah, sit down, come and write your automation test. Why? Because I've actually done the assignment before they get to me, right? I've gotten enough referral. In fact, most of the job I share to my community in Nigeria, testing community or in Testify community, actually those HRs that send me DM, tell me that, oh, they saw my profile, am I interested? Or do I have somebody to refer? Then I can now like get the list of people that I know are available for this role and I send it to them. So if it is a role I'm interested in, I can hop for it. If it's a contract that is not going to take 2-3 months, I can hop for it. So like I mentioned it when I was explaining how to get started, it is you making yourself visible, right? You are learning. How do we know you are learning? You are the only one that know you are learning. You are the only one that know you know the skill you know. So that way, you're not solving any problem. You need to be able to position yourself and rebrand yourself. Every product is a brand, right? So you need to rebrand yourself. And secondly, join community, just like they have said. They have the Nigerian testing community, we have the Testing Academy community, we have the Testify community on Facebook. We have so many communities on Facebook and on LinkedIn. Like the kind of communities that are available on LinkedIn, you can't join everything and you can't join it all. Yes, Ministry of Testing, MOT, and then join some other tech communities, not just testing community. For me, I'm in the Devo community, I'm in the PMs community, I'm in the software engineers, GDG. But for me, because I'm an ambassador for women tech makers, and then I'm into GDG as well, so automatically it makes me to be interested in GDG. Now, whether you like it or not, in those kind of communities, you are learning one or two things that makes up your career. Considering as a tester, you are like in between, right? So you have to learn some skills from a PM, you have to learn some skills from a developer. There are some skills you learn, particularly someone like Percy that said he do a lot of analyzing logs. That means he has a little bit of the DevOps skills in him, right? So there are some things you also learn in all those other communities. So yes, there are Test Automation University, which I'm even like dropping the list right now. As they were mentioning it, I was trying to get those lists and instead. So join those communities and then sell yourself. See, I don't know how to emphasize this, sell yourself. You need to make yourself visible. Yes, I dropped the list now. You need to make yourself visible. You need to let us know what you do. Now, for my CV currently, like December last year, I have a CV that I even shared to people in my community that they can use as a template. But right now, I have refactored my CV that most of what you see inside is actually links, right? I share you a link to my YouTube channel. I send you a link to my GitHub account. I send you a link to topics I've spoken on or things I've written on Medium. Those are what makes up who I am. So it's not necessary for me to start saying I work at social company. If you're still using that style, heads up, you're in Old Testament. You're still saying, when I was in this company, I ended to do API automation. You're behind, actually. Tech has gone far than that. Let's see links to the things you have done, okay? And then sell yourself. Even if you are shy to do speaking, somewhere like if you're in Accra, Ministry of Testing is somewhere that you can actually start off with. There are like 21 people here now. So you shouldn't be shy to face the camera and talk to yourself. Even record a session one-on-one by yourself and then post it on your YouTube channel. And then let people review it and then comment. And then one other thing I will mention is, I think testers has that mindset, not all testers, but most testers has that mind of it is my test. They want to keep it to themselves. They don't want people to review. They don't do peer programming or peer testing, and they don't open their work. It is my test, it's my test. Open up your test, let them criticize it, let people analyze it for you, let people comment about it, let people tell you what you need to adjust, what you need to contribute. And I feel that that speaks about where you are saying you don't know if you are good enough. Because if you are not contributing, if people are not correcting, you still not be sure if you are good enough or not. Okay? But yes, contribute to the community, ask questions. See, when I started talking in community, when people ask questions, I'll just go on Google and go and look for the answer, I'll come and paste it. Right? So that is how you start. It's not necessary for you to know all, but those times when you're researching online to know the answer, you're actually learning. And with that way, you have someone has asked a question today, you have assisted, you have also asked your questions to the people who have also interacted. Gradually, you are bringing yourself outside of the box. So how if you know if you are good enough is by being out there. My number one tool that I would say is actually GitLab or GitHub, because with my GitHub, I can write my test, I can deploy my tests within GitHub. I can even manage my tests inside GitHub, right? I can build an application inside GitHub. So GitHub is quite complex, so it's so much of everything for me. So that's my own tool. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. We'll be ending soon. I also asked for people we can follow, because personally, I follow some testing people who are popular in the field. I know for most of them are outside. Oh, I follow Tony, I follow Ibironke, I follow Percy. But I follow Andrew Jones, Michael Bolton. There's this guy who calls himself the Evil Tester. There are a number of them actually, and I think immediately you start following such people, Twitter will be bringing them your way exactly, and then you get to know about them, or you can just go them as well. And as you watch some of the events or when some of their talks, some of them actually give you people you can follow or books you can read just to enrich yourself as a tester. So yeah, you want their LinkedIn, yes, we'll get there. So yes, the next thing is actually we trying to connect here. I would like to, I'm sorry to call out people here. I didn't tell them before, but then just so that we at least know who else is here, apart from myself, Anthony, and Ibironke and Percy. Just, I'd like to call out a few people. I mean, if you're not, if you don't want to talk, that's fine. But then just to introduce yourself, since we are not physically, meeting, just tell us about yourself. And if you'd like us to connect with you on LinkedIn or any other social media platform that you have, you can just drop your link there, and then we'll connect with you. But then to our speakers, please, if you want to connect with you, want to learn from you, want to be like you see. So please put your, at least your LinkedIn profile. I mean, if you care to share, or how we can connect with you over there. And then, yes, Ibironke has shared some people, some famous testers we can follow in the link there. Just copying and pasting to your notepads. Okay, so I'd like to call Manaf. I see Manaf here. Manaf, if you are here and you would like to talk, can you introduce yourself, tell us what you do? Let's get to know you. If you can see your face, we'll be very happy.
Okay, hello everyone. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, my name is Abdul Manaf Sule, and I work with Amalitech. Amalitech is a software, it's a IT company here in Ghana, with a mother company in Germany. So I work as a QA with Amalitech Ghana, and then I also work with Nexom, which is a German company in Germany. They're also into software development as well. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Manaf. And the next person I'd like to call is Omodion. If I've mentioned it right. Omodion or Omodion. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. If you can hear me and you'd like to introduce yourself, please let's get to know you. If you can put on your video, to be happy to see you.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. My name is Omodion Franklin. Yeah, and I'm a project sites and planner with Lee Engineering, and also a QA software tester, first in the making, still in learning and still developing myself till I get as much as I feel okay. Yes, I'm good to go. Every day, so I'm a member of the test code testify community, and also a member of this test academy. Yeah, community also. Yeah, I think that's basically it.
All right. Please, can you give me the right pronunciation of your name? I think I mentioned it
Okay,
like
Omodion.
Omodion. Oh,
yeah, Omodion, yes.
Oh, okay. All right, nice. Nice meeting you. Okay, and
Thank you.
Maureen. Hello, Maureen. After
Hi, can you hear me?
Maureen, hello, hello. I think I was talking.
Hi, good afternoon. Sorry, good evening. My name is Maureen, and I'm currently a credit risk analyst with Carbon, and I'm also a participant of the Test Camp 5.0. Yeah, that's basically it. Thank you.
Okay, nice meeting you, Maureen. I think I'll call one last person and then we'll be done. Right, Kwame. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. Um, my name is Bright Kwame Nweke. I'm a software tester for Junction Technology Limited, the producers of Techno, Infinix, and ITEL mobile phones. So that's what I do for a day job. And I'm also interested in learning more about testing too as well, developing myself and looking at the career opportunities in there.
Great. Okay, I think I've met Bright already, so I wouldn't say nice meeting you, but nice meeting you again, Bright. We are almost at the end of our meeting, and we'd like to take our last words from our speakers. And so I'll start from Tony. Tony, what will be your last words to us before we go?
Not my. I think I would say software testing is really fun, especially when you are punching holes into someone's code. Yeah, so it's, and as we've already mentioned, there are so many opportunities there out there for everyone. So if you have interest, come join us. If you're already doing it, yeah, there are a whole lot of things we need to learn, and I'm also happy to connect with everyone that we have here. I will like to, if possible, those of you here, if you have your LinkedIn profile or Twitter, you can also send it as a chat and we'll follow each one, and hoping to meet in person when the pandemic is a little bit low. Yeah. So thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you so much. Percy.
For me, I think it's just one line, just to make sure that nobody thinks testing is going to die, or testing, Charlie, there's nothing in there for you. So all I would want to say is the testing ecosystem is really booming. So get in now and very fast and cash out. So just try as much as possible to learn much and make sure you are giving or providing the right value to the business itself, yourself, the other developers, and also to the users. So that's it for me.
Great. Thank you, Percy. And Ibironke, your last words for us. Where you go?
I've actually said everything that you need to know, but in addition, I would say if you are not into testing, you're wrong. Start doing testing. And then if you're already a tester, please start asking for money. When you're negotiating salary, please negotiate well. There is money in testing. Okay? So that'll be all for me.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming. And this is not where we are ending at all. We are actually growing gradually. I don't know, but I see a lot of passion for testing from our Nigerian guys. There's a whole association, National Association for Testers. And I was very impressed when I saw that. And yeah, it's it's very good. And if you are here and you just joined in to see how things will go for you, if you are considering all this, I would also encourage you to go into it. If it's something you want to do, I think immediately you start learning and reading about it, you just fall in love with it and you'd like to move with it. And for me, I think it's a lot of learning, because you get to a point, you think, oh, you know so much about learning. I think in my previous organization, I thought, oh, I'm good with testing. I've been testing and all that. Then I joined Fiamma. I'm like, hey, you're joking. Like, you're actually now starting, right? And it's good because you feel challenged. You have people who support you. You can ask questions, and then you would get the help that you need. Thanks be to God, we have the internet and Google in there for you. And so just go in there to be a big win, and don't be afraid to make mistakes and learn hard, make money, and enjoy it. Amen. All right. Sorry, I had to bring amen in. Anyway, so thank you so much. My name is Adea, and we've shared our LinkedIn profiles. I actually have to copy it because for some of the links here, I have not connected with you, so I'm just copying them so that I don't lose the chats at all. So thank you so much, Anthony. Thank you, Ibironke. Thank you, Percy, for taking time to join us today. And we hope that you join us in our future events, and hopefully it will be geared towards building maybe an actual skill, a particular topic where we can practice what some of these strategies and tools that we want to use. This event has been recorded, so it will be available. We'll upload it on YouTube, and then we'll share the link with you. And so if you joined without registering, or you didn't really if you got an email from MOT Accra, then it means that we have your detail, or at least your email. But if you want to get the link, probably you joined without registering, you can add your email here so that sorry, I just want to get it. You can add your email here, and then we'll connect with you and send you the link to the whole meeting and other resources that we have. Thank you. Have a good evening and a good afternoon or a good morning wherever you are, and see you next time. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.